What would you do if you found out your son had them went and joined the game? What'd you do?
I mean, at that point, only thing I would be able to do is talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I just try my best to persuade him. You know,
Persuade him against it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, you kids get to bed, I get the storybook.
Bill Feezzy's baby boy joins the Bloods. Chapter 1. The Rise of Bill Feezzyy. Bill Feezzyy wasn't always a motivational YouTuber. Born Christopher Johnson on the east side of Detroit, he grew up facing the harsh realities of urban life. Despite the challenges, Bill had a knack for inspiring others. The year that he was released from prison after serving a 9-year sentence, he started a YouTube channel to share his prison life experiences, offering motivation and practical advice to those struggling with their own circumstances. His candid and charismatic style quickly garnered a massive following, and before long, he became a YouTube sensation. Bill's popularity skyrocketed as his videos spread across social media platforms. His subscribers grew into the hundreds of thousands, and his influence expanded beyond YouTube. Interviews, collaborations, and even a few public speaking engagements solidified his status as a rising star in the motivational world. The man from Cobb County, Georgia by way of the D had become a beacon of hope for many young boys who thought that joining a gang was a good decision to put on their resume. Chapter 2. Conniving Ass Friends. Back in Detroit, Shaniqua Jackson was raising her 12-year-old son Malik alone. Life hadn't been easy since she and Bill parted ways years ago. Malik had always been a curious and bright kid, but his relationship with his father was strained, largely due to the negative things Shaniqua had told him about Bill. Shaniqua's friends, always full of drama and speculation, started buzzing about Bill's newfound fame. They constantly reminded her of the potential fortunes that came with being a successful YouTuber. One evening, over a glass of wine, her friend LaToya made a suggestion that would set a series of dramatic events into motion.
Girl, you know Bill's probably making millions now. You should file for child support on that nigga and get some of that bag. Think about how much better you and Malik's life could be if you didn't have to live off of them damn Walmart checks every 2 weeks.
The idea took hold. Encouraged by her friends, Shaniqua decided to move to Atlanta, where Bill now resided. This way, she could be closer for court proceedings and ensure that Malik got the financial support she believed they deserved. Chapter 3. A New Beginning in ATL. Shaniqua and Malik packed their bags and left Detroit behind. The move to Atlanta was supposed to signify a fresh start. They found an apartment complex that seemed decent, but unbeknownst to Shaniqua, it was located in the heart of Blood Gang territory, one of the largest sets in the city. Malik, eager to fit in and find his place, quickly made friends with the local kids. The allure of belonging to something bigger, especially in a new city where he knew no one, was irresistible. The neighborhood kids introduced him to the gang life, and soon enough, Malik was initiated into the Blood set. The sense of family and protection the gang offered filled the void left by his absent father. Unbeknownst to him, that absence was designed by his mother due to her hatred for the man she had her first child with, because he left her to go down to Georgia and commit crime, for which he was caught and served nearly a decade of time for.
There may be rumors of me breaking up with Travis, but who cares about that? Right now, y'all need to smash the like button and subscribe button for my favorite YouTuber, GK David II. His stories are so crazy. We all know they're not real, but still the best shit on YouTube. They're like mini movies.
Chapter 4. The First Court Appearance. The first child support court proceeding was tense. Bill, determined to do right by his son, was surprised to see Malik wearing a red bandana in his back pocket. Recognizing the gang affiliation immediately, Bill felt a surge of concern. After the hearing, he managed to get a moment alone with Malik in the hallway.
Malik, listen to me.
Bill began, trying to keep his voice steady.
Gangs mean trouble. You shouldn't be messing with that shit, son.
Malik stared at him defiantly, years of resentment bubbling to the surface. Why you care now? You ain't never there for me anyway. Bill felt a pang of guilt and frustration.
I'm here now, son, and I'm telling you, this ain't the way. You have so much potential, don't throw it away.
Before the conversation could go any further, Shaniqua appeared, her face a mask of anger. Don't listen to him, he don't know anything about your life. Bill watched helplessly as Shaniqua pulled Malik away, the red bandana still hanging from his pocket.
Sorry folks, quick commercial break.
Yo, this nigga Bill Feezzyy, whatever that nigga name is tripping, bro. If that lil nigga wanna rep my set, then let him. It's a Suwoo life out here, homie, so that boy choosing the right thing. But anyway, this that boy, week 100 from the Pyru podcast here on GK David Stories. Check me out every week with new content. Now, I know y'all finna hit the beach at some point this summer, and when that sun is cooking, you gonna need some shade. Y'all need to go over to Amazon and grab this beach canopy shade tent with UPF 50 plus UV protection for 3 to 4 people. It's waterproof, portable, and easy to set up. Hit the link in the description and get one before they run out. I'm finna hit one of these Cali beaches and smack some boonky cheeks myself, y'all. Then, when the bitch turn around to see who did it, I'ma run hide in my tent in case she called 12.
Chapter 5. The Gang's Expectations. Life in Atlanta continued, with Shaniqua working second shift at Walmart to make ends meet. Malik's involvement with the gang deepened. The leaders noticed his dedication and decided it was time for him to prove himself by putting in some work to maintain his membership. They gave him a task: to participate in a drive-by shooting. One night, after popping several unknown pills that were powerful hallucinogens, Malik and 2 other gang members were cruising around in a burgundy Kia Sorento with their headlights off. The plan was simple. When an unsuspecting driver flashed their high beams to indicate their lights were off, Malik was supposed to open fire with the modified Draco machine gun given to him by one of the OG leaders. As they drove, Malik's heart pounded in his chest as the pills caused him to dizzily clutch the big gun in a haze. 30 minutes into the ride, a car flashed its lights. Malik hesitated, the weight of the gun heavy in his hands. "Do it, blood!" one of the gang members hissed. But Malik couldn't pull the trigger. In the tense silence that followed, the gang member beside him snatched the gun and fired over 60 rounds at the car that looked familiar to Malik, but the drugs blurred his memory, his blood gang brother hitting the innocent driver with at least half of that number. Chapter 6. A Night of Tragedy. Malik stumbled into the apartment he and his mom dwelled in around midnight, still reeling from the night's events. He was too high to notice his mother wasn't home yet, despite her shift ending at 10. Exhausted, he collapsed onto his bed, not bothering to shower as the images of the drive-by replayed in his mind. The next morning, a loud banging on the front door jolted him awake. Groggy and confused, Malik opened it to find his dad, Bill Feezzyy, standing there, a look of urgent worry on his face. "Malik, we need to talk, son." Bill pulled his son into a tight hug, his voice breaking. "Your mom, she was hit last night while driving home from work. Witnesses said it was 3 black men in a burgundy Kia Sorento that did it." Malik's world crumbled around him as he realized the horrifying truth. The car, the shooting, the fear, it all came rushing back. "No, it can't be," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. Chapter 7. The Weight of Consequences. The days that followed were a blur of grief and guilt for Malik. He couldn't escape the crushing reality that he had been part of the gang responsible for his mother's death. The police investigation into the drive-by shooting intensified, but Malik remained silent, too afraid to confess his involvement. Bill, seeing the anguish in his son's eyes, knew something more was going on. He stayed close, offering support and trying to break through the wall of pain Malik had built around himself. Bill's YouTube channel became a secondary concern as he focused on helping his son navigate this dark period. Chapter 8. A Change in Perspective. As the weeks passed, Malik began to open up to Bill. The father and son spent long hours talking, sharing stories and trying to heal. Bill used his own life experiences to show Malik that it was never too late to change, to make amends, and to choose a different path. "I know it feels like the end, but it's not," Bill said one evening, sitting with Malik on his apartment's balcony. "We all make mistakes, but what matters is what we do next. You have a chance to turn your life around, to honor your mom's memory by becoming the man she always believed you could be." Malik listened, the weight of his father's words slowly sinking in. The realization that he still had a future, despite the mistakes of his past, offered a glimmer of hope. Chapter 9. Standing on Business. Malik eventually made the difficult decision to come forward about his involvement in the gang and the drive-by shooting. With Bill's support, he turned himself into the authorities, hoping that by taking responsibility, he could start to make things right. The legal process was daunting, but Malik faced it head-on, knowing it was the first step toward redemption. Bill stood by him, advocating for his son and sharing their story with the public through his YouTube channel. The support from their followers was overwhelming, and many were inspired by Malik's courage to own up to his mistakes. Chapter 10. A New Beginning. Malik was sentenced to 3 years in a juvenile detention center, where he spent his time reflecting on his actions and planning for a better future. Bill continued to visit him regularly, their bond growing stronger with each visit. Together they worked on a project to create motivational content aimed at preventing other young people from making similar mistakes. Shaniqua's death was a tragic loss that neither of them would ever fully recover from, but it also became a catalyst for change. Malik vowed to honor his mother's memory by turning his life around and helping others do the same. Epilogue. A Message of Hope. Years later, Malik was released from the detention center with a new sense of purpose. He joined his dad, Bill, who by now had his own talk show on one of the local Atlanta TV stations, in his motivational endeavors, sharing their story with young audiences across the country. They spoke about the importance of making positive choices, the power of redemption, and the unbreakable bond between a father and son. The journey was long and filled with challenges, but it was also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Malik and Bill showed that even in the darkest of times, there is always a path to light, and that the power to change lies within us all.